Hi, it's Dwyer from Gamblers Advisory. We try to help gamblers maximize their chances of success. Let's get at it. We're here to talk about the Vitali Klitschko, David Haye possible heavyweight fight that's being discussed by a bunch of parties. Mr. Haye is 22-1 with 21 knockouts, and Vitali Klitschko is 36-2 with 35 knockouts. First, let's point out the obvious. David Haye has only won one fight that was not by knockout. In other words, only one of his fights has gone the distance that he has won. Vitali Klitschko, same thing. Only one of his fights that he has won has gone the distance. Everything else is by knockout. Both of these guys sport KO ratios greater than 90%. So the first betting prop you should look at is a prop that allows you to just make a bet that this fight does not go the distance. You'll win that prop if the odds hold, uh, regardless of whether or not you're correct on the victor of the fight. So your first betting strategy should be a distance strategy, and it should be the prop on whether or not the fight goes the distance. Both of these guys knock out more than 90% of their opponents. There is an excellent greater than 90% chance that this fight will not go the distance. Now, with regard to the winner of this fight, we're taking Vitali Klitschko. David Haye, we love his personality, but he seems to me at least to be a bit of an optical illusion. Even against journeyman Monty Barrett in his last fight, David Haye hit the canvas. If you go back and look at David Haye's earlier fight against Mormek, where he was able to pick up two parts of the light heavyweight title, he hit the canvas in that fight too. The Enzo Maccarelli fight, lodged between the two of them, was a very short fight where David Haye did not have to be tested in that fight. He won that fight by second round knockout. Now, this level of opposition isn't the same as Vitali Klitschko's. Now, keep in mind, there is risk in betting on Vitali Klitschko, simply because Vitali Klitschko has only fought once in the last 4 years, and that was against the ponderous Sam Peter. Now, David Haye supporters will point out that David Haye has much quicker hand speed than Sam Peter, is a much better athlete than Sam Peter. In fact, David Haye has much better foot speed than Sam Peter as well. But what's important to remember is that of these two fighters, David Haye and Vitali Klitschko has the much better jab. Vitali Klitschko, quite frankly, throws the better combinations. He's the taller fighter. Vitali Klitschko is 6'7.5" to David Haye's 6'3". And if you go online and look up interviews of Chris Bird, who fought both Vitali Klitschko and Vladimir Klitschko, you will see that according to Chris Bird, Vitali Klitschko was the harder fighter to fight against because Vitali Klitschko knows how to use body length. Also, in terms of taking a punch, while David Haye has gone down in more than one fight, Vitali Klitschko has only been stopped twice, and once was because of a shoulder problem against Chris Bird, where he lost that fight sitting on his stool. He did not come out for the last round. The other one, and by the way, when we say the last round, we're talking about a 2000 fight. Vitali Klitschko retired on his stool before the ninth round. Okay, so Vitali Klitschko was well ahead in that fight, but then had a shoulder problem that prevented him from continuing. The other fight he was in against the great Lennox Lewis, who was then the heavyweight champion of the world. He was beating Lennox Lewis. Lennox could not seem to get by Vitali Klitschko's jab, and of course, Vitali Klitschko lost that fight because of a very bad eye injury that prevented him from continuing. So Vitali Klitschko has never lost a fight because he's been knocked down and wobbly. No, he's lost the fight for physical reasons. And so we believe out of these two fighters, Vitali Klitschko and David Haye, Vitali Klitschko has the better chin. In fact, when we watch David Haye, although he has hand speed, he relies an awful lot on hooks. He's a bit of a lunger. He stays outside. It's an in and out heavyweight version of Manny Pacquiao style. The difference between himself and Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao can actually shoot a jab from distance. You saw that in the Oscar De La Hoya fight. David Haye, on the other hand, cannot shoot the jab from distance. He relies on an overhand right that he throws from distance, power punches. So as a result, with David Haye, it's all or nothing. While Vitali Klitschko can win some rounds from distance shooting his jab, which is among the best in the heavyweight division. You saw his jab against Sam Peter. We would urge you to go online and look at the videos of that fight. David Haye doesn't have that luxury. For David Haye to be able to win, David Haye would have to get inside on Vitali Klitschko, and we have to ask the question, if the great Lennox Lewis could not get inside on Vitali Klitschko, how the hell is David Haye? And so we feel that Vitali Klitschko is going to soften David Haye up. Vitali Klitschko has the much better defense than David Haye. We expect David Haye to get caught with some shots in this fight and ultimately stopped. Keep in mind, the Monty Barrett fight only went 5 rounds, and David Haye couldn't even stay upright for the 5 rounds. So we suspect that David Haye would get hurt in this fight. We also suspect that David Haye would get dropped in the fight, and we're taking Vitali Klitschko to win a matchup with David Haye by knockout. Now, for the cautious gambler, as we said before, you just want a rounds prop. You just want to say that this fight will not go the distance. You won't get great odds, but looking at the record of these guys, it's highly unlikely that either of these guys is going to enter the ring thinking about getting a decision. So if you want to play it cautious, just say that the fight's not going to go the distance. If you want to take Vitali Klitschko, we encourage you to take Vitali Klitschko by knockout because we feel that David Haye simply has not shown the chin necessary to go 12 rounds against a heavyweight. And that's the other part of the story, too. Just keep in mind that David Haye is really a cruiserweight who recently has moved up to light heavy. He's going to try to keep a hand speed advantage over Vitali Klitschko, and so he probably will not enter the ring weighing more than 225 pounds. That means that Klitschko is going to outweigh him by at least 25 pounds. And keep in mind, Vitali Klitschko has made his living knocking out heavyweights. Just imagine what he's going to do to a guy who's only fighting in his third heavyweight fight and whose two previous heavyweight fights were against Tomas Bonin and Monty Barrett, hardly A-level competition. So we're taking Vitali Klitschko in this fight. Let us know your thoughts. Leave comments for us on YouTube. And of course, visit us and vote in our polls at gamblersadvisory.com. This is Dwyer signing off. And remember, when you bet, always use your head. Peace.